Hi, and welcome back here at the National Stadium for the Dream11 Spice Isle T10 tournament. And of course, we're going after our second match today. Cinnamon Pacers will be coming up against Nutmeg Warriors, and that match is carded to begin in just under 3 minutes' time. Let's give you the lineup for Cinnamon Pacers: Micah Narain, Kieran Andrew, Alec Athenes, Adele Beggs, Hiran Campbell, Chad Charles, Javid Hazard, Levon Lewis, Kenroy Peters, Javal St. Paul's, and Ruel Williams. We've got to my right is Raphael Crony. He's going to give us the lineup for the Nutmeg Warriors.
Andre Fletcher, captain. Akim Alexis, Samuel Charles, Darrell Cyrus, Neelan Francois, Haston Jackson, Sheldon Joseph, Donald McDonald, Dean Murray, Shondell Regis, and Josh Thomas.
And the news is that the Cinnamon Pacers, they've won the toss and they've decided to bat. Your thoughts, Raphael, about the decision to bat?
I think it's a good decision. As we have seen for the first game, the pitch has played very well. I probably thought it was a little bit on the slow side for the first innings of that first match, which is normal. The ball not going to come off as you think when it is really hard and dry and the sun is beating on it. But as we looked at this, the team batting second, Billy Blasters, and they started well and just crumbled in the end. So I think that the wicket is going to continue to play well. They're going to play well throughout this game, and certainly for the third game, it will continue to play well. I think it's a good decision.
Well, the umpires for this game, Jerome Fraser is alongside Anderson Patterson. And again, just to remind you, the Pacers have won the toss and they've decided to bat. The conditions look very well, very clear, beautiful, and there is no real threat of rain, we must say. This is match number 2 here, match number 2. And the second game of the Dream11 Spice Isle 10-10 tournament. Waiting to get at the top of the hour for the match to begin. So Alec Athenes, of course, will be opening the battle with Hiran Campbell. So Athenes and Campbell. And here is the first delivery by Jackson. Turned up on the onside, got right on top of it, and on the onside rather, just in front of square. And they're off and running. So the first run for Cinnamon Pacers. Athenes getting a short delivery from Jackson, turned just behind square on the leg side. Campbell comes in to strike.
And a good bounce by Jackson's first delivery team, just lifting just above waist height, and Athenes was able to get on top of it and play it on the onside and picked up one. Athenes, very young player, on the 7th of December 1998 from Dominica.
He's a good player too. Jackson drops one short. No ball signaled by the umpire. So Jackson is guilty of overstepping. No ball called. So a free hit. We didn't have any free hits in the previous match, did we? We had one. So yep. Jackson guilty of overstepping. Free hit is called. Of course, the field cannot be changed at all. We're in the first over. So here is a fine opportunity here by Campbell to be explosive. He cannot be out, whether he's bowled or caught. Let's see what he's going to do with this one. Jackson to Campbell. Big swish at that one. Well bowled in the end. And the ball going into the gloves of keeper Charles.
Well, Jackson have been plagued by that problem for quite a while. We have seen in the T20 tournament just played early on this year. He did have some little issues there, but one hope that he has get over that. It's his first over. does tend to generate quite a bit of pace.
Yes, Fletcher is the lone slipper. Here's Jackson once more. Outside the off stump, looking to dab at that one is Campbell. Looked a little uncertain. Doesn't seem to get his footwork going as yet. So Fletcher is in the slip area. I don't think we saw much of that in the previous match. There's a third man. Squarish cover. Extra cover on the mid-off. Mid-on conventional. Just bordering on inside the circle. Mid-wicket is also there. There's a deep mid-wicket and a fine leg inside. Good delivery.
Yeah, really good movement by Jackson. He really getting on the ball to leave the right-handed Campbell, and also being able to extract quite a bit of bounce.
Good carry, really is. So Athens has just gone down and had a little conversation there with Campbell. Maybe just asking him to settle his nerves and don't get perturbed that only 2 runs have come off 4 deliveries so far. Here is Jackson once more to Campbell. Short pull, tucked down to the deep mid-wicket area. They've gone for 1. They won't come back for the second. The return comes into Samuel. Charles, a good one. Just brings him forward a bit. And the batsman had time to cross for 1. Brings Alec Athens back into strike.
Yeah, good shot by Campbell. He get on top of this one and kept it along the ground and hit it down to square leg on the boundary. Campbell, who represented Grenada a number of years, good opening batsman, showed a lot of promise. He represented the Windwards at the under 15 level and also at the under 19 level. So does have quite a bit of experience playing at the highest level in the region.
Here's the final delivery in this over. Slow bouncer that he pulls out of. So that's a good over, very good over indeed by Campbell. Only 3 runs coming off the very first over. Wide, in fact, confirmed by the umpire. That was a little on the late side. It wasn't a bit tardy, wasn't it?
Yes, certainly a lead decision there. I think that maybe the sign came from the square leg. Well, I wouldn't think from the square leg, but not a matter of height.
No.
But really, this one just took a bit long in terms of decision making.
All right, so we just got to backtrack a little bit. Here's what should be now legally the final delivery in this over. Wrapped on the pad, the ball goes down to fine leg. They will in fact scamper a single. They amble it rather. And do it in such a hurry. I think they concluded that there were going to be just a 1 leg by there. So Jackson went up into a bit of a peel there. The ball sinking down the leg side. And after 1 over 5 runs, rather economical by Jackson.
Yeah, good over by Jackson, despite the no ball he has been able to keep it very tight. Just 5 runs coming out of the first over, and what was evident is the movement he was able to receive to get from the ball, leaving the right hander just outside the off stump. And his line was constantly good off stump, just outside the off stump. So it has been a good start for him, and only 2 overs to bowl, so you want to make sure that he probably dropped with the under 10 in his 2 overs.
Yeah, he had very good carry too. So a slow start here by Cinnamon Pacers. Ball hit down to the third man area. It's going to be cut off just inside. The return is going to come in. They come back for the second run. Good service there. Good return, but they got 2 outside the off stump. And was that a no ball signal by the umpire? Yes. So Josh Thomas, like his fellow pacer in Jackson, bowling a no ball. So a free hit is coming up. Will they capitalize on this? Here is a delivery that is Yorker-like, but he squeezes it down to backward square and would get a single. I think Athens would be a little bit disappointed with that. He probably could have thought about using his feet, just advancing and letting the bowler have second thought. Those are the kind of risks you've got to take. Well, not risk from the context that it's a no ball, it's a free hit. So you
Yeah.
could afford to do that.
I think he probably made up his mind very early in terms of what he would have done instead of waiting to see what delivery he'll get, you know. But he's a good player, as we said, and a lot is expected of him.
Thomas is getting one that, well, he's pitching up one right up, looking to turn that is Campbell. He's looking to hit that through mid wicket. And the ball inadvertently going back along the turf for the bowler to pick up on his follow through.
Alton represented West Indies B team, West Indies under 19 team. Certainly bowl right arm off spin.
Yeah, good player too. Really lovely player to look at. Campbell facing up. Wayward delivery down the leg side. As Charles having to dive across in quite spectacular manner. That would have gone down to maybe the fine leg boundary. Good credit to him.
Yeah, good work by Samuel Charles. He really had to move quick and really flung himself to his left and made a very good stop.
Yes, made a couple of paces to his left first and then hurled himself to his left. Didn't just stay there and try to dive. Good footwork and good glove work in the end. Hits that in the air. The ball is going out to the cover area. The catch is not going to be taken. Goes over the head of the fielder. They will come back for the second as the return comes into the keeper. Good one. But it was in the air and went perilously close. The fielder running back wasn't able to turn it into a catch. But it was certainly a close call.
Yeah, very difficult one for the fielder in the covers there. He had to move back. Joseph, he had to really move back, and I think he really tried to get there, but it was going over his head, and he was not able to get his hand set.
Delivery just turned behind square on the leg side. Another no ball call by the umpire. Was it? Yes. No, this is bad bowling. This is really bad bowling. Guilty of the second. That'll be the second no ball by Josh Thomas. Come on, Josh. You should be much more experienced than that. Don't want to commit a capital felony of no balling in these games. You will always have the free hit. Could turn out to be costly. Into over number 2. 14 without loss. And the run rate has just quickly gone up to 9.33. Hits that one down to the third man area and he gets 4. That's not where he intended to get it, but it really doesn't matter. You know, the direction, the location from which it comes once he gets 4, and that went down to the squarish third man area, down to the boundary for 4. So
Yeah, looking to smash it somewhere through the cover. Came off the edge and really went to the right of that backward point and went down to the boundary for 4. He will be happy that he was able to make use of that no ball.
drives well, fine shot, beautiful shot for 4. Absolutely wonderful. It was pitched up and he came forward, hit it on the half volley, and it raced along the carpet down to the boundary for 4. He will be pleased with that. Gone into double figures. He's on 12. Is 22 without loss. That was a fine shot.
Yeah, lovely shot by Altanas, and one of his features is the timing, how he times that ball. He's not a big person, but really timed the ball well and went through that mid-off region, raced down to the boundary for 4.
This time he's caressing it once more down to the boundary. It's going to be cut off. Diving stop. They will come back for the second run. The return comes in to Charles, the keeper, and they get 2. This one wasn't bludgeon, but it was lovely, nice caressing drive out to the cover area. It was really pleasing to the eyes how he came forward and just drove it nicely, crisply, sweetly. Touch of romanticism about that shot, and it went almost down to the boundary for 4. Nice cut off there on the boundary line. So the over comes to an end, and really, so after just 2 overs gone, the run rate has quickly gone up to 12. It's 24 without loss.
Yeah, good over by the Pacers there as Alton is continue to He seems to love this track here. Continue to look really, really promising. Striking the ball with a lot of confidence, and certainly he would want to play a big role here today in this game.
Jackson bowls, driven up to mid-off, will get a comfortable single. Well, he knows that he's got quite a bit to do here, Jackson, just to pull things back for his team. Josh Thomas didn't do very well at all. His first over has gone for 19. Alec Athanase now comes in to strike. He's 14. 25 without loss. The run rate looks rather healthy. I know it's early days, yes, but 11.54, that's rather healthy. Into the power play. Athanase comes forward and drives the ball up to mid-off, extra cover. Comes across rather quickly and picks the ball up.
Yeah, good delivery by Jackson. You can see him there. He's just varying his pace very well, and Alterna's looking for the big shot, so it was able to pick it up and just push it on the offside and pick up a single.
Yes, he is varying his pace well. His control has been very good too. Shot delivery, pull down to the mid-wicket area. Now they've crossed for one. Are they going to come back for the second? No, they won't. The return comes into the non-striker's end, having to move across, and a lot of distance to cover, maybe about 30 yards. Field changes over now for the left-handed Athanase. He's 15. Campbell is 6. Partnership worth 27.
A lovely shot by Athanase. Really clipped this one. Just into the body going down the leg side, and just a flick of the wrist, and the lifting of probably his right leg, and just clipped it beautifully down to backward square for 4.
Well, the only person that won't be pleased with that shot got to be the bowler Jackson himself. But it was wonderfully struck. Just got right up on the toes, and with the weight on the back foot, clipped it behind square for 4. It was really pleasant to the eyes. And if you're a fan of cricket, you just got to like it.
Yeah, very good shot.
Outside the arse stump, and smacks that through extra cover for 4. Not a man move. He didn't move either.
Yeah,
beautiful shot.
Glorious shot. It really timed it beautifully, and as you said, not a man move in the cover. They really rush across the boundary. What a splendid shot this was.
Yes, getting the front foot slightly out of the way and banged it through. Extra cover for 4.
Well, he has had 13 first-class games, 25 innings, and a total of 576 runs, with a high score of 66.
He can only get better and better. He's facing a wayward delivery, really wide outside the arse stump, confirmed as a no ball. Well, he has overstepped. That's the second time that Jackson is overstepping. No, this is not good at all. I think Fletcher would have to just maybe come down, have a word with his fast bowler and say to him it's important to concentrate on line and length, not necessarily speed, probably just striding for more pace. So it's going to be a free hit. He comes back rather disconsolately. He knows that he's guilty of overstepping. Again, that's a cardinal felony. Moves in once more. He's going to try again. Balls to Athanase, who's onto the back foot and pulls that behind square. Fine shot, goes over the boundary line. 4 more.
Yeah, another superb shot. Shot of a length delivery, and he was back, and he, with all the ease in the world, they hit it down to backward square with so much ease, and it really raced down to the boundary for another 4. So we have seen 3 beautiful shots being played, and as I said, he's a small man, but certainly hits the ball well, certainly times the ball well, and really that really went down to deep backward square, and he rushed into the boundary for 4.
3 overs gone. Athanase has galloped up to 27. Campbell will be taking strike. He's on 6. And it's 40 without loss. 40 without loss. Over number 3 just having completed. So we've got a run rate now of 13.33. That's big.
Yeah, healthy run rate. And Alton's just to say about his first, his debut game was Guyana versus the winner at Grosselet, and this was way in December 2018. So it's a player that just really came on not too long ago, but showing a lot of promise and really continue to look well.
So Akeem Alexis is brought into the bowling attack. You would want to cool things down here because they've really galloped. Cinnamon Pacers. There he is, moving in. And bowls and hits that down to fine leg. Gets a comfortable single. So one more is added to the Cinnamon Pacers total. It's gone out to 41 without loss. Athanase, who's done the bulk of the scoring, now comes into strike. So far, he has faced just 12 balls for his 27. And with 18 minutes at the crease, he struck 5 fours. So it's been a boundary riddled inning so far. The offside is quite packed. Driving up to mid-on, won't score. So they're right in the circle on the offside. He's got 5 fielders supporting him. Alexis hits that through the covers again. It's going to run away to the boundary. Yes, it does. 4 more. So he's really striding. He's really pushing on.
Yeah, another good shot. Again, giving himself room to that delivery, which was not really a bad delivery. A little short, and as he chipped down, Alexis did, just trying to slow it down a bit. But he was able to get enough to get over cover.
Yeah, it was airborne, but not catchable. Continues to go with great rapidity. 31. And only 14 balls he's faced so far. This time he hits that through middle wicket. That's a wonderful shot for 4. Got down and swept it almost, well, it was like a sort of pulling with the knee on the ground. And let's look at it there. Got down and really swept that down to this mid wicket boundary for 4. Yeah. The total has raced to 49 without loss. He's gone to 35. Here he is again outside the off stump. Wayward delivery wide. So the 50 has now been posted. Come up in very quick time. 50 without loss. And we're in over number 4. This might be a big total. Athanase hits that down to the mid wicket area. That's gone for 6. That's huge. That's a huge hit. Looks like about 80 yards from here. 6 runs. It was pitched up and he got under it. And Slog swept it. Nice, beautiful swing, nice arc. And it went clearing the boundary line, maybe by about 20 yards.
Yeah, superb shot. Getting under this one and lifted it over a wide mid-wicket.
Alexis, outside the off stump. There's an appeal for stump. So, 4 overs gone. Power play coming to an end, but this is a big total. Good start. They've galloped off the block. Cinnamon Pacers, they're 56 without loss after 4.
Yeah, positive start by Pacers. The batting of Aten again come to the forefront. He's on 41, and certainly he has had that 41 in just 17 deliveries, hitting 7 fours. And 1 6 really is an impressive start. This is the sort of start that Pacers would feel pretty much comfortable with. And as you rightly say, they would be looking to get probably 120, 125, make a match out of it.
And they were all genuine cricket shots, Rayfield. They were not slugged by any stretch of imagination. He really played good, authentic cricket shots that maybe you'll find played him a test match or first class level.
Yeah, he's certainly a class player, and despite 10-10, he's playing proper cricket shots, and his timing really is something to note.
Dane Murray comes up with his first delivery that is hit over the wideish long on boundary, straight his mid wicket, 6 runs, and what a welcome to get. Came forward and lifted it nicely. That's Campbell. It's his turn now because Athen has been scoring with great freedom, and he's joined the party.
Yeah, good shot, pitch up on his legs, and he whipped it really well over wide long on for 6.
Hitting that again, this time in contrasting area, down to the sweeper position on the offside, and they will get 2 runs. Bad delivery. It was a full toss. Maybe Campbell would be a little bit disappointed that he didn't really hit that as cleanly as he would have liked, but it certainly rewarded him with 2 runs. Murray, 8 runs off his first 2.
Yeah, impressive start by both batsmen. Campbell is looking to get into the arc himself.
Here is Murray to Campbell. Campbell is coming forward, drives that one rather crisply, gets it down to long on as Jackson comes off the boundary, sends the return back to the bowler. The batsman had time to cross for 1. So Campbell has got to 16. Arthanez, who's 41, comes into strike. The field, because the power play out has been much more spread. Outside the awesome drill past the bowler. That's 4 runs. Now that was a magnificent shot. Scarcely had he gone through his follow through, that was rushing past him like a bullet from a shotgun. 4 runs.
Yeah, good shot, full, and really struck that very well, just to the on the offside of the stump.
Yeah, it was an eye-popping shot. Outside the off stump, the wide would be signalled by the umpire. Back then, when we played cricket, they would call it hiding. That's when, of course, a batsman is taken into a bowler, and the bowler will try to be as wide as possible. Here's the bowler now dancing his way through, getting a little bit of bounce outside the off stump. Murray has this way, wide signal by the umpire. So this has been a really terrible over. 15 already scored from it. He has this way that he sort of dances into his run-up, so to speak.
Yeah.
We're not seeing something like that in quite a while. Here's Murray again. Moves in to bowl to Athanase, who opens the face of the bat, glides it down to backward point and gets a comfortable single. Takes his total by 1 to 46, inching to what would be the first 50 of the tournament. Cinnamon Pacers, they've gone to 72 without loss rather quickly.
And he has only faced 19 deliveries. He's 46 from 19 deliveries, really. And one would think that there's a lot of big hitting and rash shot, but really good cricket shots have been played.
Yes, it's been a beautiful innings to look at. Campbell has been something of a spectator for quite a bit. Here once more is Alexis, who's in now on balls and looking to drive that. Maybe didn't keep his eyes on the ball. And that completes the over there, as at the end of 5 overs is 72 without loss. The current run rate is 14.40.
Yeah, very good start by the Pacers. 72 without loss in 5 overs. Murray first overs went for 16. Akim Alexis also in his first over also went for 16. So really it have been a good start. I think both batsmen look really positive and seem not to be perturbed of the bowling. And certainly I think they at 72 without loss in 5 overs, they probably could be looking in the region of 140.
Well, yes, if you're thinking about going sequentially, it means that they'll get up to 140. They're at the halfway stage, 72 or 5, and you multiply that by 2, so then they should probably get up to 144. Delivery that is pushed down to a shortish third man, and they get a single. So Alexis continues from the far end. Welcome back, Alistair DeBillett, as Rafael Crony slipped out. Campbell is advancing down the track. I think the bowler saw him coming, Alexis, and maybe just pulled it down a bit. Campbell couldn't make contact. The ball dribbled out to Fletcher, who's fielding there at the short extra cover. Here he is again, down the track. This is a good, nice straight hit. The catch is going to be taken. Pull back in. Oh, now this is fine. This is a great piece of work. The catch was taken. I think he went beyond the boundary line subsequently, but had the frame of mind to throw it back in, relayed it. Now let's look at this. It was hit hard, down the ground. Fielder coming around. Catch taken cleanly. He's going to go over the boundary line, but had some... Oh, I think he might have stepped on the rope. He may have just stepped on the rope there, but... Well, he has been given out. And so Campbell goes, but if we could possibly get the replay again. Now let's see how we can pick it up here. They don't have the replay, but here it goes. Looked as though he stepped on it. Your thoughts, Ali?
Well, pretty close. It would look like how from this distance, which is a pretty long way off, that he did make contact with the rope, but the batsman is on his way.
Yes, well, meanwhile, Arthur Nez gets his 50. No, not yet. Sorry, he's 48. Sorry.
But the catch itself was well taken. The contact with ball and hand, and it was firmly in his grip. So it's just a matter of stepping. And as we said, there's no replay here, or they didn't ask for it. And so the batsman had to go. But a wicket at a crucial time, because they seems to be running away with it.
Here is a delivery that is hit down to the deep cover position. Deep mid wicket, rather, and gets a single. So Narain is off the mark. Micah Narain.
Very good hitter. The ball is Narain. So I think it's.
And the captain. Ball by Arthur. It's just turned up to long on. Gets a single. So he's inching to that magic mark. He's on 49. 6 overs gone. And at the end of 6, it's 76 for 1. Arthur Nez is 49. He'll be taking strike. And Narain is 1.
Very good hitting by Arthur Nez. When you're probably not seeing the game, you'll think probably he's a big guy. He is a small guy, and that makes it more exciting that this guy with that size could be such a good hitter.
He's played very well, and they were good, genuine shots, as I said. Not slogging. Yeah, I know it's 10-10, but they were good, authentic stroke play.
Throughout his time here, the matches he has played, he has done very well.
Yes, he's an attractive player. Has sufficient time to play. Doesn't seem to be ruffled at all. He's looking to reverse that one. Doesn't make contact. Keeper didn't gather as cleanly as he would have liked, but recovered well in the end. Hits that down to long off. Oh, that's a fine shot for 6. Brings up his 50 in quite spectacular fashion. He drove at it, got right under it, and hit it straight down the ground. 6 runs to Arthur Nez. He's gone to 55, and that was a lovely telling blow.
Very straight. No chance of being out.
Cyrus again in. This time turns it down to backward square. Fine shot. 4 more. 4 more. Bad delivery. and he just helped it on its way down to backward square. And Athens, trust me, he's on fire. He's gone to 59 with great rapidity.
Must be Fletcher must be wondering what next, because the bowlers are not really pitching. It just seems to be all over the place. And Athens, in the form he is in, and the type of batsman, he wouldn't allow these things to go by.
Well, well, well. Cyrus, none for 10 so far. Just 3 deliveries to his bowl. Turns that around. He's going to swing that down to the deep backward square area, and that's gone for 6. Well, it should be. He just turned around, really, and slapped it down to the deep backward square area. Well, that's because of his handedness. It really should be down to backward point, but reversed his body position and hit it for 4. For 6, rather, did it? Yes, that's right, 6. Oh, what an innings this is. Cyrus is really roughed up. Now, he's pushed that into the gap. They've gone for 1. 1 come back for the second. The return comes into the keeper. And they get 1. So, Athens has gone very quickly now to 66. 93 for 1. Just 1 delivery remaining in this rather expensive over so far by Cyrus. 17 in his first 5 deliveries. Could he bring a dot ball here? He's moving into bowl to Narayan, and who tucks that down to mid wicket, would get a comfortable single. So expensive over coming to an end. 18 runs coming off that lone over bowl there by Daryl Cyrus, and it's 94 for 1.
Well, I think he tried flighting the ball, which is always exciting to see, but he was not pitching, and Martinez, in the form he is, really capitalized on some very loose deliveries. 94 for 1 in over number 7. The prediction here seems to be going up as to what will be that total score, but good batting. The field inside under a lot of pressure. How will they come back is, it's still 3 overs to go, so they need to get it right in this last 3 overs.
Well, Andrew Fletcher has in fact brought himself on. He's going to be bowling leg spin, I think he would be. And he'll be bowling to Narayan.
He have gotten wickets in cricket before, so.
Down the ground, 1 bounce to the fielder at long on. Still think that he should consider bowling a little bit more, Andrew Fletcher.
He has bowled well in previous games. I think leg spin always seems to be a problematic type of bowling to the West Indian batsmen. And so if he can pitch right, he can probably get some reward.
Still wondered why he never really taken this bowling as serious as he could have. Here he is now on bowls. Long hop, that ball goes down and will be caught. The catch taken. He has gone. Short delivery, and I think Athens will be rather unhappy about that, really, because it was a short delivery, had sufficient time to lean onto the back foot, and what really should have been a 6, the catch being taken down at the deep backward square. Cyrus, who didn't have the best day on the field, however, but turned out to take a very good catch. But a good innings by Athens has come to a screeching halt. He's gone for 66. It's 95 for 2 cinnamon pieces.
66 and really 28 deliveries tell you what type of inning he has played. An excellent inning. As we said, probably one of the I would say the worst deliveries, but not a good one. But he didn't capitalize on it. He had to swing it probably a little faster because it was a quicker delivery. In fact, it was more medium pace than really the spinning of what Fletcher has been bowling, and he didn't time it properly, and so being out caught. But a very, very good innings.
And then Fletcher gesticulated as if to say, "Oh, it's as simple as that." Well, Peter's the new striker. Tugs 1 down to the mid-wicket area and will get a comfortable single. So Fletcher's brought a breakthrough here for his team. Is leading from the front, so to speak.
And as you said, probably about bowling much more for teams he played.
Well bowled, Fletcher, right up in the block hole. If he thought about coming down on that, he may have been yorked. So here's Fletcher spinning the ball from hand to hand. I think he's enjoying this, isn't he? His body language suggests it. And he lifts that down to the deep mid-wicket area. That's going to go all the way. It's gone for 6. 100 coming up, 102 for 2. And it's coming up in rather quick time in the 8th over, which tells you how much they've been hitting the ball. So, Narayan has gone to 9 in 5 deliveries. In over number 8, bowled by Fletcher. Moves in to bowl to Micah Narayan. He's there now and bowls. Short delivery, pulls down to the down to the mid-on area. Will get a single. Long on rather, comes off the boundary return, comes in rather quickly to Fletcher. So Fletcher would feel rather pleased as his over comes to an end. Just 9 runs coming off his over, and he's picked up the vital wicket of Alec Athanaze.
And the situation of the game makes the over more important because he was able to take the wicket off probably one of the leading batsmen so far in this competition. He was really on Nick, in good form, timing the ball well, and that breakthrough would have probably just slowed things down a bit.
Well, we're with 8 overs gone, 103 for 2. Cyrus, who didn't have a good over at all, his first over costing 18, will move into bowl to Micah Narayan. Here he is now and bowls. Outside the off stump, short, off the back foot, this Narayan cuts the ball down to the sweeper position, and they canter a single. The return pulls Charles forward. One more to Narayan's total. He's now gone into double figures. As Peters now comes into strike, he's taking what seemed to be here middle stump guard. I know Alistair DeVille's eyes much better than mine. There's no question about it. So might just confirm. What was that, Ali? Middle?
Yeah, middle, from the way he is.
There it goes.
Middle.
Delivery driven straight down the ground. Will it be cut off? Good bisection of both fielders coming across, one from the left and one from the right. Neither of them was able to converge and to cut it off. Surgical precision down the ground, 4 runs.
Perfect timing.
Really wonderful shot. A little bit of bottom-handedness involved, but Peters goes on to 5. Nice shot. Cyrus, really expensive. None for 23 so far. Outside the off stump, looking to hit that maybe down the ground again. Didn't make contact. Collected behind the stumps by Charles. Down the ground again. Fine shot. 4 more. Beautiful. That was a cracker. It was hit very hard indeed. And again, an almost action replay. Both fielders long off and long on. And it tells you how well and how straight and how powerful the shot was really hit. Both players maybe just about 10 yards to the right and left, so to speak. And neither of them, well, let's say about 15 yards,
I don't think
was able to pull it off.
I don't think you could say it was a bad delivery.
No, it just struck so well.
Watch it right up.
The umpire also had to take evasive action.
I think soon the umpires might have to wear helmet.
Oh, they've done so already, haven't they? Hand shields also. Outside the off stump. Dot ball.
I think that's Fletcher telling him that he needs to bowl a little off the stumps rather than on the stumps.
Yeah, let him fetch it. Tuck down to long on. This time they'll get only a single. So the over comes to an end. Finally, I'm sure that Cyrus will be very, very happy that his overs come to an end. None for 28 of 2. Rather expensive that. And after 9 overs, just 1 over remaining, it's 113 for 2.
Well, Fletcher is having a long chat with him, but I think that his spell has come to an end, and he'll probably need to go back to the nets to work it. For a leg spinner, I think he bowls too much on the stumps. The batsman doesn't really have to look in any direction, straight down the line, and that's why he has been hit so many times around the field.
Here's Fletcher bowling the last over. Driven back. Oh, he's dropped it. He's dropped it. It came back. Admittedly, it came back to him very quickly indeed. But he should have taken the catch. And so Fletcher's dropped it. Now let's look at it. I think he might have been surprised. He was too nonchalant, Fletcher. Should have taken it. Now it stung his hand. No question about it. It really has stung his hand. Had it... I don't know if it damaged the finger. It must have damaged one of the fingers.
But Peters has been hitting the ball pretty firm, and so it's a short distance between the batter and the bowler, and the reaction looked like he didn't make much of an effort, but the ball did come back to him pretty quick.
Now Fletcher's got to be careful. He's got West Indies services coming up shortly. Well, let's see. He seemed to be okay. Outside the arse stump, cuts down to the sweeper position, and we'll get a single. They will come back for the second one. The return comes in. Good running. They get 2. Got to push for everything. This is the last over. 115 for 2. Fletcher sending back the backward point, right back on the boundary, outside the arse stump, and hit down to long off. We'll get a single. It's been a good over so far, hasn't it?
Yeah, good spell, because the previous over he took...
Went for 8, I think, in his first over. 8 or 9.
And took the vital wicket of Martinez.
Yes. So it's Fletcher again in. Faster delivery. Hits in the air. Somebody's going under it. The catch is going to be taken. Gone. Fletcher picks up his second wicket in a rather easy manner. And so Narayan goes for 11. And another wicket has fallen. 116 for 2. As Narayan makes his way back. So McDonald down there on the sweeper position, taking the catch.
I think what Fletcher has been doing is keeping the ball outside the line of the wicket, so the batsmen need to stretch, and they are not getting the proper timing into the ball. And again, coming and picking up 2 vital wickets. The bowling figure is 2 for 12.
Yeah, but he is there bending over. I think he's favouring that shot. All right, he was trying to hit that inside out, and he didn't really have to move very much. McDonald took a rather simple catch. Fletcher, brilliant by Andrew Fletcher. He's taken a cotton ball return. What a wonderful catch. What a wonderful catch. Onto the back foot. He was looking to hit that maybe through the mid-on area. It was airborne. Fletcher made coverage across to his right and plucked the ball out of the air in quite spectacular fashion. So he has to go. He got some bunks. That's the thing. That's what made it very difficult for the batsman. Here is Fletcher. His hands already outstretched. Took a brilliant catch. Saw it all the way into his right hand. And well. So Fletcher has picked up 3. 3 for 12 of 1.5. Andrew, the new batsman, down the track. Stumped. Gone. Is he? Yes. Fletcher has picked up 4. He's got a 4 for. Well. So the innings have come to an end. 116 for... Was it a hat-trick? Yes, in fact it was. So Fletcher picks up a hat-trick. Not very often you get it in the shorter versions of the game, but he's picked up 3 in 3, a hat-trick in a 10-10 match. Cinnamon Pacers 116 for 5, and there was maybe a bit of a dramatic collapse coming to the end, and what a time looked like maybe a total of about 125 has been brought to 116. Fletcher 1.5 overs, Sorry, two overs, no maidens. Picked up sorry, 4 for 12. Did I get that right? And inclusive of a hat trick. And what a splendid performance this is.
Well, 4 for 12, even without a hat trick, was good enough. I think his experience that came into being here, because he just kept the ball just outside. He's not a big turner, he's not a big spinner, but he mixed up the deliveries quite a bit, and sort of confused the batsman as what to expect. And of course, in this stage of the innings, the batsman trying to make as many runs as possible, is hitting at everything, and I think the variation in deliveries paid off quite well.
Right. So that's the situation here. We certainly will bring you through the scorecard. And just to remind you that Fletcher got a 4 inclusive of a hat trick. Cinnamon Pacers 116 for 5. That's right, 116 for 5. And let's look a little bit at the scorecard. Alec Athanase, who's batted so very well, he was cut Cyrus of the bowling of Fletcher. He went for 66, 28 balls, spent 35 minutes at the crease, 3 massive sixes, 9 fours, with a scoring rate of 235. Heron Campbell also batted very well. They had a good start. Was caught McDonald of the bowling of Alexis for 16, 17 balls, a little bit slow, and had just a 1-6. Micah Narain caught McDonald of the bowling of Fletcher for 11, 8 balls, just a 1-4. Kenroy Peters caught and bowled Fletcher in quite spectacular manner for 13, 10 balls, 2 fours he struck. Javel St. Paul was not out, no score. Kyron Andrew was stumped Charles of the bowling of Fletcher. He was lunging down the track, missed everything. He went without scoring, and so 116 for 5. 116 for 5, 10 overs. There were in fact 4 no balls, which really wasn't very good at all, although it didn't turn out to be highly costly. Leg buys 1. In the end, extras were 10, 5 wides in the process. Jackson, 2 overs for 20 runs and didn't pick up a wicket. Josh Thomas didn't bowl very well at all. 1 over, 19 runs, rather expensive. Akeem Alexis, 2 overs for 20, 1 wicket in the process. Dane Murray, 1 over, no maiden, none for 16. Darryl Cyrus, 2 overs, no maidens, none for 28. And Fletcher, obviously, and even before batting, might be in some contention, I would think, for the man of the match. 2 overs, no maidens, picked up 4 for 12, inclusive of a hat trick. And so Cinnamon Pacers 116 for 5, 116 for 5. And the highlight of the innings, the batting, of course, had to be Athanase. He went for 66. Ali, it was a fantastic innings.
Yeah, definitely played some excellent shots, and as we said, even with the number of boundaries that he hit, they were all cricket shots, and that make it more interested. But he's a good player. He plays well. He's a good hitter of the ball and a good timer of the ball also, and his inning was an excellent one. We thought though that at a time with him in such good nick that the score would have been probably 10 or 15 runs more, but a great innings from him.
So I would think that Nutmeg Warriors would be in the end rather happy with the fact that they restricted them to 116 when maybe 130, 125 looked on the card.
I agree that at some point in time before Fletcher came into the attack, it looked, because he came in the attack with 4 overs left, and it looked like they were going to get 10 or 20 runs more than they did, but he came in and immediately created problems in terms of picking up wickets, and once wickets are falling, the run rate seems to drop a bit.
Yeah, so that's the situation here with the Cinnamon Pacers getting to 116 for 5 of their 10 overs. And of course, Nutmeg Warriors, let's see whether they really have the Warriors spirit in them as they would come out and bat. It's going to be a challenge in total, but it's not one that is impossible. It's right within, I would think, the striking distance. So
I think also in the practice game they got to 120 and lost the game. So 116 is a bit less. So we have to wait and see. Of course, as we said, good conditions and a powerful batting lineup by with Fletcher and the likes in the lineup, Alexis, Cyrus, Charles, Andrews. That's very capable batters.
the old-fashioned saying, old-fashioned cliche that runs already on the board. And they got 116, the Pacers to work with. We'll have to wait and see whether the Nutmeg Warriors can come up there and eclipse that. So we're going to take a short break, I would think, and then we'll come back here to describe the second part of this game in the Dream11 Spice Isle 10-10 tournament, where Nutmeg Warriors will be chasing down 116 for victory.
Welcome back here at the National Stadium. The reply of Nutmeg Warriors. They are going to try to get 117 for victory. As we see the first delivery to be bowled by Javel St. Paul. This one is hit down to backward square, and this is going to go into the boundary for 4. Short delivery bowled by St. Paul, and Andrew Fletcher give it a full treatment. He was back and he really hitting it smoothly down to backward square for 4.
This 10-10 cricket, there is no time for the bowler to warm up. He needs to come home, and that was sort of a warm-up delivery, loose, not much in it.
St. Paul. Fletcher is steering the better length delivery, and one that he seemed to just vary in terms of his pace. And it went down to short third man. Fletcher moves to 5. The score is 5 without loss in the first over. Shondell Regis. Windward Islands on the 19 player. As he faces his first delivery. And this one again is on his body and turned to that short fine leg there. And Fletcher hustled through for another single. Really, it will be a interesting battle. And Fletcher, who's known to this type of cricket, we have played a number of T10 matches, T20 matches, as he faces second delivery, and he hitting it beautifully over long off at a massive 6 there by Fletcher. Pitched up, and he really got on that and hit it sweetly over a wide long off, a beautiful 6.
Well timed, gone way off the boundary, a magnificent hit, and he didn't see any big swing or flow at the bat, just sweet timing of the ball and cleared the boundary by a long way. Yeah,
certainly he have the ability to time the ball well. Fletcher has played some 25 ODIs, 354 runs, not the best average, 14.2. T20s, he also played 45 T20s. Certainly a better average there. 823 runs, 21.6. Another short ball that is dispatched powerfully to mid-wicket for 4. Really an impressive start by Fletcher.
Well, some 16 runs already. I think the bowler has been bowling on either side of the wicket, and that has been creating a bit of problem for setting at the field. That one was short and swung away. The previous one was pitched up and driven over the top. So he needs to get probably his line a little more consistent with his field placing.
Well, St. Paul now feel his place on the mid-wicket boundary. There's he's up to the wicket, both have pitched up, and this one is driven down firmly to mid-off. I think he would be probably a bit disappointed there, didn't get hold of this one as it went down to mid-off. And that completes the first over. 16 without loss.
In terms of not a very good over in terms of the runs, 16 runs, but of course you're bowling to Fletcher, you need to be right on spot. I think he was a bit loose, too many balls in various parts of the wicket. And as you said, the last delivery was pitched up, and I think Fletcher would be a bit disappointed that he didn't go all the way. He only got a single, but good over still, 16 runs. I think they like that type of start they have gotten.
Yes, certainly Fletcher would have played with quite a number of plays. West Indies, Edmonton Royals, Titans, Peshawar, he has played. Also the Stanford superstar, that big game that was played against England, and he really featured in a big way down the leg side, and they gonna come through for a bye as white signal by the umpire. Williams, his first delivery, Ronald Williams, and 2 more runs take the score to 18 as Regis comes into Fletcher comes into strike. Certainly had played a number of games around the region,
Around the world.
around the world. Played for the Melbourne Stars, St. Lucia Zouk, the Silent Sixers. He also was a West Indies under 19 player. Really would have played a lot of cricket at this shortened version. This is another wide delivery outside the off some Williams. There again, just throwing a bit in length. But has been an impressive start so far. Still in the first over, just 1 over, 19 without loss. Short out man backward point, cover on the boundary, cover long off, and Fletcher covers up and pushes his one back on the offside. A shot out of character.
I think that ball would have swung a bit in the air. Yeah. I think that's why Fletcher had to watch it. It started somewhere middle and ended on the off.
Well, for this delivery, again, good variation there. Slower delivery as Fletcher was reaching and just having to pull back. Well, good delivery. I think he got the better of him in this delivery.
Two good deliveries in the over, and I think he's bowling to his field because there is a sweeper on the offside and 4 players, so he's keeping it just outside the off stump.
Williams, this one is hit down to past the mid-on fielder and goes down to the boundary for 4. Good shot, hit firmly, and fielder at wide mid-on. They just seem to struggle a bit to get down to it. And as it passed him, it went down to the boundary for 4.
I think his feeling technique would have been a bit wrong there because the ball was hit very firm and it took some time to get down. While instead of trying to go for the long barrier, should have stayed and feel the ball.
This one is again right up. A little disappointed again not to make use of this delivery, and you could see it being shown there by Andre Fletcher as he played it as backward square straight to the fielder. It's 23 without loss. Second over. Williams. And Fletcher driving down to the sweeper on the boundary. It's only a single. So again, keeping him fairly quiet in this over.
After his first 2 deliveries, that was wide. He has come back pretty okay. Williams, he has bowled 4 pretty good deliveries.
Regis is turning this one just to the short fine leg, and that concludes Williams' first over, going for 8 runs in the over. And at the end of 2 overs, Nutmeg Warriors are 24 without loss.
Well, I think a reasonably good start. Fletcher 20 of 10. Regis have not faced much. Good over there from Williams. Just 8 runs in it. Bowled pretty well in terms of his line. He kept the ball outside and just about off stump, forcing the batsman to have to play, reach and play, which you know tells you that his concept of what he has to do, he knows very well. A well set feel to in the situation.
Yeah, he certainly came back strongly to just receive 8 runs from the over. Williams, medium pacer that just tend to move the ball away from the right-hander and does have quite a bit of control. Well, Adel Beggs going to pick it up from this northern end. Right arm over the wicket to Fletcher. Short delivery. That was swung away for 4 over backward square, and really taking full toll of those bad deliveries.
Again, Fletcher has been swinging quite a bit, and the bowler starting off with no one deep on the leg side. Fletcher is going to swing once he's short. This is pace. You'll have to pitch it up if you're going to set a field like that. You'll have to pitch it up and pitch it up on the off stump. And that one was short, and Fletcher didn't have much to do but just help it along.
Yeah, he certainly want to make use of that power play, which is 4 overs. Yeah, over number 3. Another short deliveries that hit down to mid wicket on the boundary. That fielder really well placed on the mid wicket boundary. So 1 more to Fletcher.
I think the captain has sought that out, putting the player there, because he hit quite a couple of deliveries down there. And even though it is pace and it's just the 3rd over, he has opted for the deep player as the sweeper on the boundary.
Regis. Again, Regis is looking for the big shot. It comes off the edge. And the short fine leg comes around, so he gets 1 more. So it's 30. And aggressive Fletcher comes back into strike. This one is clipped, and where this goes way over mid wicket, deep backward square for a big 6. Again, all timing as that ball was short in length, and Fletcher got into it and really clipped it beautifully. And that probably would have gone maybe a good 90 meters.
Well, again, he was throwing down the leg side, and there is no protection down there. No, this square leg has gone a bit fine or backward, because he has gone to a backward square leg, but he's waiting to retrieve the ball.
Yeah, it went a long way over that backward square area, and probably went just some way into the pavilion. The fielder is just taking a little time there, but really a good shot by Fletcher, and the timing was really good. Wasn't any big force. He just picked it up and timed it sweetly, and it went really over that backward square for 6. Really seemed to have gone maybe up on the top row, but really has gone a long way, and really a good shot. And this is sort of player we know Fletcher to be. This sort of aggressive player, particularly at the opening stand. So.
No, the ball seems to have gone in the upper deck of the stand. That's a big hit, really.
Yeah. Yeah, really went a long way.
And as you said, it wasn't really brute force. It was just timing that got it that far. Excellent shot.
Yeah, really timed it beautifully. Beggs in his first over. So far in 4 deliveries, gone for 12 runs. To get to that 116, I do believe that Fletcher will have to stay and play a very good inning.
Well, he has started well for sure, and it's a question of continuing.
Beggs once again to bowl to Fletcher. This is a full toss. Again, when bouncing down to mid-on, again the timing was not there.
I think he's pre-imp there, looking to hit on the leg side. It was outside the off stump, caught him a bit in no man's land, and so he didn't play a well-timed shot.
Down the clip, it's just one again that goes over mid-wicket, a wide mid-wicket for yet another 6. Again, pitch up, and he just whipped it. Again, was no brute force, just whipped it and timed it well. And it went over that a wide long on and sailed over the boundary for another 6. Good over ball there for the Pacers. It's 42 without loss. And Fletcher quickly gone to 37. Regis is on 2. And Fletcher's 37 and only had 15 deliveries. And really is a positive start by Andrew Fletcher.
Yeah, 42 of 3. Very good start with Fletcher on 37, just off 15 deliveries. I think it's the field side now probably a little bit concerned because the bowlers are not been bowling proper line, and Fletcher has been taking advantage of the deliveries that seems to be heading down the leg side.
Regis looking to whip this delivery, taking on the pad. Micah Narain, the captain, coming in to his first over.
The rate as Fletcher is going, probably you needed someone like him, but probably might be better in the depth of his batting coming after probably the 6th over or so, but let's see.
Short, and this one is hit well over backward point. One bounce into the boundary for 4. Give me a bit of room there. And Regis really was in full control as he hit it over backward point.
Too wide. Plenty of weight given and took advantage of it. And even though the field is 5-4, there is no sweeper on the onside, on the offside, so he really can't afford these short deliveries to be easy to hit over the top.
Well, this one again is keeping him quiet. Regis again looking to push out on the onside. It's 46 without loss. We're in the 4th over. Again, we have seen in all the games played, Ali, that the starts seem to be very good. We saw the second inning of that first game, 50 odd in 4 overs. Start just seemed to be. Again, he's looking to play on the onside, and Narain keeping him quiet there.
I think, of course, that tells of the quality of batters that we have and good hitters at the ball, and with protection, only 2 men on the boundary. I think the batters so far has been taking full advantage of the fact that the boundaries are not protected.
Still in the power play. Again, this is right up. Good bowling there by Narain. Fletcher looking to steer it down. Again, made no contact.
Got a lot of movement in that delivery.
And he's swinging this one as a lovely over again, another wide long on or mid wicket, and goes for yet another 6, and that brings up the 53 and 4 overs, and Really, the power play again has been a good one. Fletcher 43 from 17 deliveries. It's 53 without loss at the end of 4 overs.
And the side must be a bit concerned about the bowling attack because they have done pretty well with the bat, but they are not able to contain a Fletcher who is in great form. With the power play has come to an end. I think they'll be pretty happy now that they could have more boundary riders. But the strength and the power which Fletcher is using, they probably need more than a boundary rider. They need someone further back.
Narayan just went for in the first over. That's Lewis. Oh, wide delivery, very short.
That was a pretty wide delivery at any level of cricket.
Lewis. Levon Lewis, right arm leg spinner who also played for Grenada. I think he already got onto the winners plane. It have been out of cricket for a long time. And this one is played down to mid-wicket, who's on the boundary. That's Regis. So one more to Regis. He's on 7. Fletcher 43 comes back into strike. Widely set field. Backward point, cover on the boundary. Cover long off on the offside. Now we see fielder is moving to a short third man as Lewis full toss, and Fletcher is hitting that one down to the long on fielder. Would be a bit disappointed that he didn't make more use of that delivery.
Yeah, it was a pretty high full toss, and he probably could have hit it any way he wanted to. Try to tug it on the onside and only succeeded in getting one.
Stroke down to the fielder on the boundary, so one more to Regis. Leave on Lewis, right arm leg spin. And he's cutting down to the fielder on the boundary. One more to Fletcher. So over has been pretty quiet so far. Left-handed Regis comes in the strike. And this one is swinging and swinging well. This one goes over long on it for a big 6 as he picked it up with leg spinner coming into the left-hander. He really go with the turn and he picked it up nicely and hit it over a wide long on for yet another 6.
That was a good time shot because the ball was a bit wide and he was still able to tug it over mid-wicket. Good delivery, faster, quicker outside the off stump. Good quick delivery, surprised the batter a bit. Comes to the end of his first over, 10 runs. 11 runs in the conditions, probably the batting side 53 off 30. I think the batting side now looks to be in the ascendant with Fletcher still there.
Yeah, yes, certainly it's 64 without loss in 5 overs. You tend to feel a bit comfortable with Fletcher there. You really want to push on. We have seen 116 was 107 was good enough. Certainly they would want to push on from here. And played back along the wicket. The bowling of Chad Charles, a off spinner again. Another under 19 player who represented the island. As he's right arm off spin from that sudden and comes in both to Fletcher, and Fletcher is pulling well, but down to the mid wicket fielder on the boundary. So we have seen with the spinners on that it has slowed down the rate quite a bit. The fact that the power play has ended, there are no fielders on the boundary. So Regis, who is on 14, so far 11 deliveries. Fletcher so far faced 21 deliveries. He's looking to sweep, goes fine. They're going to come back for 2 there as the fielder just in that short third man position had to run around. So there's 2 more to Regis. 16. 67. Again, Regis is looking for that big swing, comes off the bottom edge and goes down to the fielder on the long leg boundary. It's 68 without loss in over number 6.
Good over so far from Charles. Just conceding 4 runs.
There's a lot of movements on the field, deep backward square on the boundary, mid wicket, long on the boundary. And Fletcher is hitting hard, just back over. They probably went through the hands of Charles, went very firm, just over his head. We pick up 1 more. That takes the score on to 69. Andrew Fletcher. Charles now comes around the wicket, pitch up, and Fletcher is hitting down again to long on. Again, the timing wasn't there. Regis rather. So that 1 more, and really been a pretty good over. After 6 overs, 70 without loss, and Charles just going for 6 in that over.
Very, very good over from the off spinner. He, of course, both spin and turn, he gets a bit of turn. He had a pretty good line, pretty good length. The batsman were not able to time him that well. So an excellent over. Could someone know 6th, 7th over, crucial over? Could someone know come on and probably produce 6 or 7 runs in this over? The feeling side will be right back in it.
Yeah, certainly they were looking to probably get a big over. As Levon Lewis bowling to the left-handed Chandel Regis. Regis is hitting down to that mid-wicket area and goes just 1 bounce as it goes between that wide mid-on and the long on, and goes down to the boundary for 4. Good shot. As he's hitting with the tide as the ball comes into him, we now seeing fielder being pushed down. So there's a long on, there's a wide long on, and then there's a mid wicket, fairly straight. Full toss play down to long off, so there's 1 more to Regis. He goes at 23. 75 without loss. Regis facing 16 deliveries, 2 fours, 1 6. Fletcher on 47 from 22 deliveries. Lewis, and this again is swing down to mid wicket. The fielder on the mid wicket boundary has some work to do and just missed it. We had a very good effort. Went into the boundary for 4, and Fletcher's 50.
It was a bad delivery outside the leg stump. The fielder really made a meal out of it because he really got both hands to it, but couldn't hold on.
And he's swinging again. This one goes high in the air, goes over the backward square, and goes for another 6 by Fletcher. And really, he's really stepping it up to bring the score to 85, and we in the 7th over. Fletcher so far has really dominated. 57 deliveries, 5 fours, 5 sixes. He's 57, really dealing in boundaries. A short delivery again. And just play to the short cover. Really. Stroking this one. Good stop by Lewis. Fletcher just came forward and push it back on the onside, and no chance of a run. And that the end of that over. We have 7 overs completed. It's 85 without loss. So they still need a target of 32 from 18 deliveries.
32 from 18 deliveries. With Fletcher is batting there, somebody will have to produce. The field side have to produce probably 2 very good overs. 3 overs left, 18 balls, 32 runs.
You certainly want to give the batting team would be in a good position. There are wickets in hands.
And Fletcher is in and in good nick. So, but wicket also could turn things.
Charles to Regis. Again, Regis looking to swing, making no contact goes into the pad. Certainly they will want to make sure that this is a big over. Charles once again to Regis. Regis is swinging and hitting well. That beautiful shot over that mid-wicket fence, and it goes for yet another 6. Again, just pitching it up in the slot. And as he came forward there, just picked it up. Just picked it up and hit it confidently over mid-wicket for another 6. Regis. Again, this one comes off the edge. And again, looking for the big hit. And the fielder from third man coming around. And that he collected one more.
Well, I'm a bit surprised that the bowler chose to go round the wicket off spinner to the left-hander, because over the wicket you get a bit more turns, and around the wicket is a bit straighter, and that's why the left-hander could hit him.
Up to Fletcher. Again, Fletcher is back and steering to backward point. And Charles again just trying to avoid bringing it up, as
he needs to.
He's up to the wicket, ball to Fletcher. Fletcher down the track and hit that, and probably that seemed to hit the bowler somewhere. He's down, and it just seemed to be. We're gonna look at the replay and see what happened here, but that went really quickly back to the bowler. Yeah, it just seemed to come off the hand and maybe into the body. But 1 run to Fletcher. Really a ball which was hit really firmly. But seemed to be okay. It's a 93 without loss. Probably maybe just a bit of ice. Well, really have been a good opening stand here by this pair. So far have been a dominant performance by the Nutmeg Warriors. Chad Charles come around the wicket to Bolton Narayan, and Regis again hitting him for another 6 over mid-wicket. As it came into him, and he really picked it up and hit it beautifully over mid-wicket. Certainly no, they seem to be in total control, and the score races to 99 at the end of 8 overs without loss.
I'm still a bit confused as to why he chose bowling around the wicket, the off spinner bowling around the wicket. If he stays around over the wicket, he has an opportunity of turning the ball a bit more. Bowling around the wicket, he bowls into the left-hander, and all he has to do is help it along, and he has been doing that.
Yeah, well,
expensive over again, 12, 14 runs. Probably it's not all over, but 18 runs, 2 overs. A wicket could still tilt things a bit. The last over, you need 9 or 10 runs. It could be, a good game on.
Yeah, well, most definitely the wicket of Fletcher get a 2 quick wickets. They still need 18 from 12 deliveries. Regis moves to 36 from 20 deliveries. A little disappointed we haven't seen Atena's bowling. As we know, he bowls pretty tight, good off spinner. But Narayan again is taking on the pad as Fletcher looking to play to mid wicket. Mid wicket in a short fine leg, yeah, a long on, a wide long on, mid wicket square leg on the boundary. Really open leg side field. There's four fielders on the leg side. A short third man backward point, extra cover long off and a fielder on the cover boundary. And this one is stroked down too. He's hustling for one, for two, and he's coming up for two. Let's see. Yes, good running, but the choke coming in from that long on position wasn't a good one. And Fletcher was able to get back for two more. It's 101. Fletcher moves now to 60.
Surprising that the keeper was keeping up quite a bit and then now choose to go back when the Fletcher seems to be still using his feet.
Nutmeg Warriors really good start, and this one is hammered by just taking the hands off the bowler, and the batsman running well, coming back for two runs. But that ball was struck very, very firmly, and Narayan just taking it on his left hand there, and just seemed to be a little bit injured there, probably. Yeah, and you see now the umpire is calling just some damage to that left hand, it seems. So we can.
That ball was really struck firm, and he got his hand to it. Couldn't move his hand away from it. I'm not sure which one, but it was well hit.
Yeah.
Not surprising that, fortunately for him, if anything fortunate about it, it is his left hand.
Yeah.
He's a right hand bowler, but it seems to be an injury because the umpire immediately signaled for the someone to come on.
Yeah, the physio there is out on the field, and it just seemed to be taking one of the fingers. Well, he looks in pretty good spirits, just smiling. Maybe. But certainly this has been a really impressive start by this opening pair. I think they both from St. David's, as you know. Regis, winners under 19 player, and Fletcher, who has played all around the world, continued showed his dominance here today. Playing a pretty macho inning. It's 103 without loss, and we are in the 9th over. And Fletcher, 62 from 31 deliveries so far. 5 fours, 5 sixes. Regis, 36 from 20 deliveries, and he also has hit 2 fours and 3 sixes. You know, as we just have a little break, as some work is being done on the finger of Micah Narayan, who is the captain of Cinnamon Pacers. But we saw in both innings that the opening stand was a good one. I think Pacers would have put on over 15 F overs. Likewise, Nutmeg Warriors, they had 53. So the opening stand, have been a good one for both teams. But as you see, coming down to the end, the inning of Alternance was another good one. And when they would have lost his wicket, I think things just turned around.
The loss of Martinez definitely was a key point in the game. It changed the run rate, and the boundaries dried up, and so they got to that score. The difference here is Fletcher is still there, and it's 14 runs of 9 deliveries. Most people would be banking on the batting side at this stage of the game.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, he seemed to be getting there. We see the fielders now going back into position.
As we said, it's his left hand. He's a right-arm bowler, so he's not really hand will not come into use in the delivery, the problem will be the ball is struck back to him again.
Yeah, he just getting it into position as we are about to continue. It's 8.3 overs being bowled, 103 without loss. Fletcher 62. And he's hitting one down to deep back, so Craig going to run close and goes into the boundary for 4. Again, not getting hold of it. The fielder on the square leg boundary having to run to his right, and really didn't have much of a chance as that one was went down to that backward square position, and it goes down to the boundary for yet another 4.
Well, I think you have to give credit to the batter because it seems to be playing the ball into the vacant areas quite a bit. And so the score reflects that. Not too sure the square leg is needed really. A lot of ball has been going backward. But
yeah, probably should have been a little bit finer. This is struck down to the fielder coming off the boundary. Atenas. And another single to Fletcher. 108 without loss. Still one delivery to go in the over. Remember, this is the second game for today. Now right now comes around the left-handed register, right up, and certainly that one would have went through him.
And pretty close to the off stump.
Yeah. So we have 9 overs completed. It's 108 without loss. So we need 9 from the last 6 deliveries. And let's see who's going to pick it up. It seems to be Williams. Williams are going to pick it up. Narayan just completed a spell of 2 overs, no maiden 19 runs, no wicket. Chad Charles 2 overs, no maiden 20 runs, no wicket.
Williams bowled the first over.
Williams bowled the first over. He went for 8 in his first over.
If he could repeat that now, they would have won the game.
And he would have tried to get probably a couple of runs less in this final over. He's going to bowl to Fletcher. And
9 runs needed.
And the field for Fletcher, I see Narayan just paying particular attention to the position. He going to position himself at slip. There's a backward point, cover on the boundary. There's a cover and a long off on the offside. Long on, mid wicket on the boundary, backward square on the boundary, and a short fine leg. He's up to the bowl to Fletcher. Fletcher is hitting this one over backward point. Let's see where it goes for, and goes for 6. Good shot. Ball giving some room there, and he really flashed, and it came over and fly over backward point for 6. Certainly, as he might have played, you could see him looking to lift it over the infield, and it went over the rope for 6. Certainly start in a big way, 114. Just 3 needed from 5 as Williams. Right arm to Fletcher. Fletcher is down and hitting straight. Lovely shot. And that goes over the rope for 6. And certainly a convincing win here by that Nutmeg Warriors with the batting of Fletcher.
Great innings, 79 of 35, but the timing of the shots were really excellent. I didn't really mistime anyone. He was very confident. He didn't see this big hitting shots. It was pure timing all through his inning. 10 overs, and a really excellent inning. And of course, Fletcher, we know, is very talented and has done it probably, as we said, all over the world. So, just living up to expectations, really, and a great innings from him.
Yeah, it has been a dominant position by Nutmeg Warriors, chasing 116 for victory. Just to give you a bit of the bowling spell, Javel St. Paul 1 over. He went for 16. Will Williams, he had 1 over, 1.1 over, and he went for 14 Edel Beggs, 1 over for went no made 18 runs. Mike Anarin, 2 overs for 19. Levon Lewis, 2 overs for 26. And Chad Charles, 2 overs, none for 20. Andre Fletcher, not out 79, 35 deliveries, 39 minutes, 6 fours, 7 sixes. Chandler Regis, not out 36, 21 deliveries, 39 minutes, 2 fours, and 3 sixes. Certainly have a dominant batting display by Andre Fletcher, and certainly good support by Chandler Regis.
Yeah, and we spoke about the Fletcher's performance with the ball before he came to bat, and as previous commentator Pastor Worm was saying, he would have been in line for man of the match. I think he has just conformed to that inning. 4 for 13 in his bowling, and now 79 not out. A really good performance from him, and as we said, probably expected, but the manner in which he did it was really wonderful to the sight. Perfect shots. As we said in the previous with the batting of Martinez, that it was pure cricket shot. I think Fletcher was very similar. There wasn't any rust or shot. He just batted well.
Yeah, we certainly would have seen 2 impressive innings. We continue to speak about Atenas in terms of his batting. He had a brilliant inning in terms of his stroke play. And not a big guy, but he really batted sensibly. And we're seeing Fletcher come and show his dominance. And I think these 2 innings were the feature of the game so far. Today this is our second game that has just concluded, and these are the standout batting that we have seen today.
Yeah, the 2 batters, and of course they are Windward Island players, and even have gone beyond that. So probably not really surprising, but the fact you had to go there on the day and perform.
Yeah,
and they did just that.
Yeah, most definitely. So we have come to the end of our second game for today, and certainly we have some exciting game. I think this one was pretty dominant by the Warriors. I think the first game was a little more was closer, but certainly we had 2 good games, and we now await the final game for today: Cinnamon Pacers versus Nutmeg Warriors, and we expect that this game would commence just in about 20 minutes. So we hope that you're going to join us as we continue to bring you commentary on this game, today being the first day, and the third and final game for today. Cinnamon would be Clove Challengers versus Saffron Strikers. The final game would start just in about 20 minutes. We hope that you join us then.